Hello and welcome. It is Wednesday, June 19th. It is 5 p.m. or just after 5. I'm a couple minutes late this evening. Let's see. All right, so tonight is all about the Brights collection. I'm Nicole with Equally Creative by Nicole. Nice to meet you if you haven't been here before. Um, I'm going to be sharing the 4 different color families in the Stampin' Up! Color world. So I'm going to share the brights tonight. Next week will be the subtles. And then in July, I will do both regals and neutrals. So I hope that you look forward to all 4 of these little mini demonstration classes. These are demonstrations of all the classes that will be available in my mega class. It's actually available to order right now. There is a special treat when you order all 4 classes. You will get this. I mean, it's pretty big. You'll get this clear, wonderful, equally creative zipper tote to hold all of your crafty projects, whether it be these 4 classes or some other items. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to share with you what the colors are to get started, and then we'll move into our projects. So each class in this mega color class collection is going to feature 3 different cards and a project. So I'm very excited about this. The projects are going to be fun folds. I've got a 3D project for you. Today is a cute little, it can be a picture album. It can be a little journal, little travel journal, anything you want it to be. All right, so let's take a look at the items that are available. So obviously we have cardstock available in these colors. We also have designer series paper in the colors, and I am gonna have to order another pack because I'm almost out, but you can see some of the colors. They are all double-sided, so they come in a few different patterns. So that one is really cute. If I can get a good image here, it's like this polka dot stuff. There we go. All right. So you can see that each of the colorways has a pack of designer series paper that you can get with it. You can order a combo pack of all the brights. You would get 2 each of 10 different colors, equaling 20 different cardstock pieces in all the 10 colors. We also have the Stampin' Right markers. I pulled a couple out here from the Brights collection. So our Stampin' Right markers have a brush tip. Let's see if you can see that. They also have a bullet tip, as they are identified by these cute little lines, the thick line and the thin line. And there's that bullet tip. These just don't show up too well. Sorry, folks. Then we also have, most of our colors are offered in blends. The blends come in pairs. And again, we have a bullet tip and a brush tip. So you can see what that looks like. There we go. And that fabulous bullet tip there. Okay. And you get a light and a dark of each of the color that you are interested in. So let me see. I'm just going to move these out of the way. So let's go through each of the colors in the Brights collection. So the first one I'll share is Poppy Parade. We've got Melon Mambo, Flirty Flamingo. These are the fun names, right? Pumpkin Pie, Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lime Twist, Granny Apple Green, Coastal Cabana. We're going to use that one tonight. Azure Afternoon, and Berry Burst. All right, so we're going to use Coastal Cabana first. These are definitely some of the most fun colors that we have. So it is something that I truly have come to love. It is the only, my ink pads are the only collection that I keep by colorway so that I can identify them quickly and easily. It's a pretty good range of all of the colors. So let's go ahead. Our first card is going to be a tone on tone color. So this is our Coastal Cabana, and I've used a little bit of all the items here from our Friends for Life set. Okay. So this is the stamp set that I am featuring this evening. Okay. It's called Friends for Life, and I'm actually featuring the suite because I did use some of the die cuts from this. So here is tonight's first card, just best friend. And so I've got some pieces cut. Now, if you purchase the class, you're going to get all of these, and you will also get a PDF tutorial explaining what the measurements are. It's going to kind of give you a little overview of how to put this together. And then you will also receive the links to these sample demonstration classes so that you can see how they are put together in real time if you so choose. All right, so the first thing I have is my Coastal Cabana card base. I have an inside piece, and we're going to go ahead and stamp that with our fun leaves right here. Let's see, here are the dies. If you are on my mailing list, you will actually get in a couple of weeks a fun tutorial for a card I cannot show you tonight. So that's a little bit of a teaser. But I did use this suite of products in a little bit different of a way. And I can't wait to share it, but I can't do that until the tutorial is out. So it's going to be in a couple weeks. But again, you got to be on my mailing list to get that. So let's grab this. And this is going to be the inside. I'm just going to put a little bit of the leaf on the bottom right here. And I'm going to adhere this on the inside of my card base just to have something to sign later on. If you're here, even if it's the replay, give me a shout out. Let me know that you have watched. I do try to get back and answer or respond to each comment. So I would love to see what your thoughts are on these projects. This is a little bit different of a process for me, so it's a little new. I still want your opinions and your fabulousness. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do all the stamping components. So I need to stamp our leaves a couple more times. And I'm going to use this scratch piece here. And I'm going to do 2 of these. And then I've got a strip here, and I'm going to go ahead and do the best. Now, you could get really fancy and cut individual letters out with this. I just went ahead and stuck with the stamps from the set for this. Okay. And I do need to refill the ink on this one. I can see the center is a little bit lighter than I would like, but we're going to make it happen. All right, so there is our second stamp right there. I think that's all the stamping we're going to do. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out all of these pieces. So I need to cut out Friend and both white and Coastal Cabana, and I need to cut out our little leaves here. So I'm going to bring over my big die cut machine. And I probably should have swapped some things around with my stamping there, but I didn't. And because I'm working on a glass mat, I am putting down just a little silicone sheet here just to protect it from getting scratches or any type of damage that way. A little added protection there. All right, so our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I'm using the big one so I can do multiple things at one time. So we only have to run it a couple of times. So let's see what we can get laid out here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the friend out of this one. I want to cut this internal piece here, and I'm going to go ahead and off camera, I'm going to go ahead and stamp those leaves on the long strip so that I can save paper. Okay. And I'll share what that looks like right here. So that's what I just swapped this out to be. And because I have 2 leaf sets to cut out, I'm going to snip that right there so I can get this on here as well. Now, because I want to make sure that my leaves are inside this die as much as possible, I'm going to grab a piece of washi tape just to kind of hold everything here in place. My other 2 pieces, even if they shift, aren't a big deal. Okay, so I have my sandwich here ready to go. And I'm just going to send this through. It does make that bone cracking sound when it creates new little cuts in the cutting plate. It's not anything to be afraid of, even though I was scared to death. I had broken mine the first time I ever used one. Of course, the little dot for the eye has slipped off, so I'm gonna lose that, I'm sure. The good thing is you can use one of your markers, whether it be a blend or a Stampin' Right marker, and you can dot your eye if you need to. All right, so I'm going to set this aside, poke that little thing out, poke our background out. All right, now I don't want this on here when I run the next leaf through, so I'm going to simply pull those off. All right, and then we will do the second leaf. Again, I'm going to use that same washi tape piece. Just kind of line up those leaf images with the die cut edges, and then I will send this through. So we've done 2 passes, and we have all of our leaves cut out and our friend outlines. Now I'll move this to the side. And let's get this put back together. All right, so you're going to have a piece of that fun DSP in there, and all you're going to do is trim this down. You want 4 pieces that are 3 inches by 1.5 inches. So essentially you have a 3-inch piece. You're just going to do 1.5, and you'll have 4 of these pieces. You'll be able to turn 2 of them over or you can use all four the same size. It's your creative freedom here. And that's going to serve as the background for our message here. So this is what I did. I turned two of them over and I added my glue or Seal Plus, any type of adhesive that you have. I do a little bit of a scribble. A little bit of glue goes a long way. I don't push too hard at all. And then I'm just going to kind of put these on in a little fun zigzag pattern, alternating my colors. And overlapping them a little bit. All right, so that is as simple as that background pattern gets right there. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is trim out my best. I have decided on this one, I really want to leave it with nice straight edges. So I'm lining this up and just trimming those straight edges here. You can see that you can get pretty close. If you end up with little slivers of paper, just grab a paintbrush of sorts and brush that right on out of there. All right, so I'm going to put best up on dimensionals. And I'm just using two and I'm spacing them kind of towards the middle here so that I'll be able to tuck those leaves in around here later. And I just kind of put this a little off cattywampus, kilter, off kilter. I don't even know how you want to say those words. All right. So let's glue friend on. So I do have a fun little silicone mat that makes this a little bit easier to deal with. My little eye here. So I start with the thicker spots and I just put a tiny dot of glue there. And then I find just other areas where I can add a tiny drop of glue. We do have other glue options, especially for this super skinny lettering. You could use our adhesive paper, which just allows you to adhere your cardstock, and then it makes it into like a sticker. But this is just my preferred method at the moment. Now I am going to use some tweezers so that I can not have to wear quite all of the glue. And then I gently put this on. I'm able to push that down, and this is going to adhere just fine. I am going to add a tiny drop where I want that eye to go. And let's see if I can get this guy in the right direction. Okay, so isn't that fun? And that really wasn't too hard. So, all right, so to put this guy up on dimensionals, you either need to have some minis or you can trim your full-size dimensionals down. I do obviously have minis, so I like to put them at the thickest parts, just like I did with that glue earlier. And then I will even trim these in half so that I can add them to a couple of other places. So I literally just grab one, snip it, and now I've got two of these half minis. And I will add these to the these little extra pieces here so that all of this word is up, standing out nice and bold. Pull all these little backings off. I do color my backings because sometimes you lose track of them. All right, so I'm going to put this part here. Okay. Now I can put, I'm just going to put minis at the top, the tips of the leaves here. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue towards the bottom. Let's see. Which you don't have to put the extra glue. It just helps it to really stick in that card well. So you'll see, I'm going to put just a little drop of glue down here at the base of these leaves. And then I'll pull these off and then I will put them in a pleasing fashion. Let's see. So I'm going to put one here. You can see it's kind of raised now, but it'll stay nice and firm at the bottom under our best tag here. I'm going to do one like right here. And then we're going to embellish with our iridescent adhesive backed discs. And let's see. 3 to 5 elements are key when you're adding all these little embellishments. You don't want too many. You don't want too few. And I'm going to go ahead and use the blue one since I'm doing tone on tone. And I'm just going to put 3 on here. There we go. All right, so here is card number 1. Well, hello, Julie from Utah. How exciting. Hope you're enjoying our Brights colorway. So we're doing 3 cards tonight and a fun journal, photograph, keeper, memory book, whatever you're going to want to turn it into. All right, so I'm cleaning up just a tiny little bit so I can hopefully not put all these other colors on the next card. All right. So card number 2 is going to be a fun Daffodil Delight. And it also uses some of our Azure Afternoon. And it ended up being one of my favorite cards ever. So I hope you like it. All right, so you can't see it on camera, but you can see it says "so excited for you." And this was so much fun to make. So let's go ahead. This one is considered a nice, super simple, beginner friendly. But you don't have to worry. You will have instructions if you are purchasing the class. If not, you will be able to watch right here and replicate it. If you are a seasoned demonstrator or a seasoned crafter, you'll be able to do this without too much details. All right, so I'm grabbing that stamp because we're going to do that first. So we're going to do tone on tone because it's a nice subtle effect for this. This is going to be our "so excited for you." And I can tell that it's a little crooked because I moved it while I was putting it on there. There we go. And I'm just putting this straight down and straight up without wobbling that, if at all possible. So You can see that's what that looks like. And that is the only stamping for this card. So now we get to add all these fun layers. So I did use, let's see, I think this is Lemon Lime Twist, and I've got the Azure Afternoon. And this is going to be part of your kit for the Brights. We have a half a pack of the Full of Life 6x6 Designer Series paper that will be in your kit. You can cut it. The measurements will be there, and it is going to be whichever fun piece you like. You can see that there are many different pieces, and of course they are also double-sided. All right, so go ahead and layer our pieces on. Your pieces will come pre-cut, except for your Full of Life. Was that what it's called? Yes, Full of Life. I don't know why I'm forgetting those words today. Your Full of Life, you get to select and choose. So that is what will happen. And you'll see why it's important for you to be able to select and choose, because when we do our little photo album, travel journal, you're going to want to pick your top 12 pieces right away. Okay, so this is my little trick for our twine. This is the multi-pack. I like the little, they're called Wee yogurts, and they come, excuse me, in these fun little jars. And I couldn't part with the jars. So I had a whole bunch, and I decided that they were perfect for holding my twine, and I can actually leave the twine in the jar and not have it roll all over the place. And you see I just tied my bow and snipped it off. Okay. Our bow is going to go with a glue dot booger onto this fun layer with that Full of Life paper. Let's see. You want it big enough so that when you put your sentiment layer on top, it will stick out on either side. So I'm just going to put that right here, kind of in the center. I'm going to trim it down later. Again, I'm going to grab my mini dimensionals and add a few of these to this fun layer. And then stick this right on top. This layer is going to go on the left-hand side, flat on. So seal plus, glue, whatever floats your boat. Your favorite adhesive right here. And then we're going to use dimensionals for this. And yes, I frequently will go back and forth between my full-size dimensionals and the minis. Just because I feel like they all have a purpose, and then I don't have to do quite as much snipping and cutting when I need something that's a little bit smaller. So now we're going to add this on here, nice and centered. And now I can go ahead and snip the tails where I want them. And we will embellish again with our fun discs. The discs are part of the Brights kit as well. So you will get a full pack of these. I do like that there. Okay, so that is card number 2. All right. Again, I'm going to take just a second and kind of swipe my area clean so I can pull out card number 3. And yes, I loved these things so much that I do have quite a few of them at the moment. Quite a few layers. Trying to use up the ones that are partially used first before I have to open a new one. These are the ones I used with my personal family Christmas cards. So I had a lot of these. All right, out of the way. Out of the way, out of the way. Perfect. Okay. Card number 3 has a little bit of some dry embossing, and this card is actually inspired by another demonstrator who used some different colors, but I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. So here's the card. You can see I used a whole bunch of fun things here. So this was cased from Laura Beecham, and then of course I changed it up just a tad bit. So let's take a look at what I have. So this beautiful embossed background is from our circles, the dotted circles. And then I've got our, oh goodness, nature's something circles or whatever. I will have to find that and list it later. But so I have completely forgotten the name of these dies. But I know they were with our Spotlight on Nature set. And then obviously this comes from our suite, the Full of Life suite. I have my favorite orange is pumpkin pie. If you know me, you know why. And then I've cut a piece from this Full of Life set here. And we've got a basic white card base. So basically we're going to do a tiny bit of stamping, and then we're going to do some layering. These stamps are just so fun, and I always need birthday cards. So I like to make a birthday card as often as I can. And let me show you another little trick while we're here. So when you get your stamps, they come on these acetate sheets. There's going to be a protective layer that's a little bit thinner, and then you've got the thick layer, which is the base for your stamps. I like to lay it right over the words so that I can remember how many there are, what one might be missing somewhere in my space, or right under my nose, as the case is usually. So this is what I use this for. So I've got my happy birthday, and I like this little swath of color. So let's put happy birthday on one. Let me go ahead and grab a second one here. Oop. All right, so I used Daffodil Delight and our pumpkin pie, but actually I think I used a pink color here. So let's do Melon Mambo, I think is what I ended up using to pull out some Melon Mambo here. Let's just see if we have that Melon Mambo. So I don't have Melon Mambo in here. I might pull out the pumpkin pie or the Granny Apple Green. Let's do Granny Apple Green. We'll pull some of the greens from here. And that is just how I like to do it when I have a variety of colors to choose from. I'll just decide what colors I have the most here. I'm going to go ahead and layer this piece on here. I'm going to leave it to where it hangs off of the edge, and then I will trim it down. All right. make sure it is centered top and bottom here. And then I'm going to trim that in a second. So let's go ahead and use our Daffodil Delight for our fun little splotch of color back here. And then we will use Granny Apple Green, and we will go right on top. We could have used any of the darker colors to go right on top because that would work. So I'm going to do Happy Birthday right on top there. Ooh, can barely see that. There you go. All right, fun, fun. So now we're going to layer, because I have done all of the boring things off camera already. So I have our embossed piece here. I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to the back of this. And I'll just put it along the lines where there is a gap in the dry embossing. And then I want to make sure, yeah, okay. So now we're going to trim that. That back up, and let's switch that over. Here we go. All right. So we have this layer on here, and we are trimming this to line up with our fabulous pumpkin pie color. And I'm going to add this with dimensionals. Oh, Jennifer got quiet while she colored. I am just quiet now that I had that whole hiccup. All right. So just a reminder that this is the Brights demonstration for the Super Mega Colorway class that I have on sale right now. It includes 4 different colorways and 4 different classes that will all include 3 cards and a 3D project or fancy fold, fun fold type project. Right now I'm just adding a little bit of glue to this fun leaf. And then we will stick this on here. I'm going to have it up a little bit higher. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere our happy birthday medallion here into the center of our pumpkin pie. Now this is raised up on dimensionals. So part of this is going to be raised on dimensionals and the other part is going to sit directly on our little leaf cutout there. So I want to make sure that my dimensionals are on one side. And then I will put a little bit of glue on this side. I did not color these. Not helpful. And then I will just carefully layer this on. And then we embellish. Let's see. I'm going to pull out a second set here because I do want a little bit of this fun granny apple green to go on here. And this is one you can kind of add like confetti. So feel free to add multiple colors, multiple numbers. You could do these in pairs or partners. All right, I'm going to stop right there because, I mean, we could get a little crazy with this part. All right, so that is card number 3. Again, thank you, Laura Beecham, for the card that you had that inspired this. It was a lot of fun to create this one. All right, the very, very fun zero stamping, unless you choose to add to yours, little photo journal, travel journal. I'm going to show you the one I created that was using a different paper. Hi, Jennifer. I just talked about how you got quiet when you were coloring, and I had a hiccup with my phone because I didn't put it in do not disturb, and somebody called and my screen went blank and then I got quiet. So trying to get back on track. All right, so this is the fun photo journal, travel journal that you're going to create, but we're going to create it with our Full of Life suite. So this is where I mentioned earlier, you would want to pick your 12 most favorite pieces of cardstock from your kit, because you're going to want to set that aside. It is going to be your primary focal point in your entire journal until you start embellishing with photos or journaling. And I'm just trying to get this out of the way so we can pull that out. A little change over here so I can have plenty of space to share with you how to put this fun project together. So it's kind of funny, Jennifer, that you would show up just in time for this. Hopefully I do you proud. Okay, so I have pre-cut my pieces. Now remember, you're going to get a full color PDF tutorial with all of your, you'll have your DSP in your packet, and you will have all the measurements in your tutorial. It'll all be there for you. And then obviously you will be able to come back here. You'll get a link to the video for each colorway that you purchase, and you'll be able to see how to put things together. All right, so I picked my favorites. I basically picked one of each because can you really pick a favorite of this paper? This is my most favorite suite. I was kind of sad that it was not on the pre-order list. I had to wait like my customers to order this beautiful, beautiful color set. This is our fun Berry Burst color, and this is going to be the outside piece of our journal. each of these 12 6x6 pieces are going to be folded in half. Remember that you have two sides to choose from. I just might have to make like 2 of these so I can use the other side on the other ones. I don't even know which side to go with, but I made a commitment to one side, so I'm going to stick to it. You are going to fold all 12 of these in half. You do not even need a bone folder, but you can if you want to. I just fold each one. And then just kind of used my fingernails a little bit. I'm going to fold this one in this way. I just gave up on my commitment to do all the A side or all the B side first. Fun, fun, fun. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to keep doing these because I need to do all 12 of them. Now your kit is going to come pre-cut and scored for that outer layer. So you're going to want to just fold on the lines that you will have available. There's the only trimming that you will be doing will be the little corners, and I will tell you how to do that as well. All right, 12 of these. This is the longest part. Oh, and what did I do with my ribbon? I put it out of the way. All right, so you're gonna get a piece of this fun striped trim. See if you can see the fun glitter in that. So that will be part of your packet for this kit as well. You're gonna get a nice big old piece. I think it's like 24 inches or something, so that you can make sure that you can tie a bow. We are almost there, almost there. Oh, this paper is just so yummy. I kind of wish it were 12 by 12. But then I would just be sticking it on a shelf, and at least I'm doing something with it here, right? All right, so since I broke my rule and I have a couple of different directions going, I'm going to shuffle these because, I mean, I don't want to be boring or anything. All right, so I have no idea what order these are in. It won't matter. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I have to glue these together. So I'm going to be gluing each piece. You don't want a super huge amount of glue on here, but you do want enough so that they stick together. And then I just kind of lined them all up on my table and then smush it around just a little bit. And then you're going to keep going until you have all 12 of your papers lined up. Now you do want to make sure that all of your folds are on one side. Okay. And I'm just going to keep going. Again, it is really not hard. It just takes a few minutes to accomplish. But the wow in the end is pretty spectacular. And I do plan to fill this with photos from my grandchildren who will be visiting from Europe at the beginning of July. So I am very excited that I will have this prepped and ready for when they get here. We'll just be able to add some photos later and maybe a little bit of journaling. I do like the use of the glue because I can kind of slide a layer if it needs it, just a teeny tiny bit before it sets. So that hopefully they will all be in the right direction and nice and even. It is going to make the most adorable album. I mean, my grandbaby's photos are really going to be the feature. However, they will be competing just a tiny bit with this gorgeous paper. Just kidding. There's no competition. My grandbabies are the best. They are the cutest. Again, you want to make sure that everything is lined up as much as possible. You can see I just keep lining it up, pressing it down. We are almost there, folks, almost there. I could have done part of this off camera, but that wouldn't have been as much fun. You wouldn't have seen every single picture or every single paper, right? But you can see in real time that this is taking no time at all to create an entire album. So all right. So now we have all of our papers ready to go here. Now I did take another piece and I picked this fun polka dot to cut it down to make my front and back pieces. And you'll see how we use that in a second. So front and back, that's what these pieces are for. These two pieces are going to kind of cover up on the inside. So let me cut my ribbon because it's going to be needed in just a moment. All right. So what we're going to do first, you're going to have yours is going to be scored. You're just going to fold on all of these score lines. Now, remember I said you might have to trim yours. I'll probably trim it for you. But what I did was I scored all of my outside pieces and then I made sure the point was right at the channel and then I was able to slice that corner off. It helps to give you mitered corners, which is going to be a really nice clean look when we are done. So I'm simply folding on all of my score lines. So you've got a line around each edge, and then you'll have two center fold lines that make up the book binding right here. Okay. So I'm going to fold that in just like that. And that is what that looks like. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to have to put my ribbon across here. Okay, and it peeks out right through the middle. So I'm going to glue down my top and bottom. You can use glue here. I think I'm going to use my Seal Plus for this part. That way I don't have any accidental oozing or coming out. So I'm folding the top and the bottom first. I don't think it really matters. You could also use tear and tape. That would work as well. And then I'll do the sides with those beautiful mitered corners. So this makes the front and back of your journal. Okay. So I took a tiny little bit of adhesive and just kind of put it on one, just so that when I'm adding other things in a moment, it doesn't fall out. So I folded it in half, took the half in my fingers here, and I just kind of pinched it and laid this on my sticky part here, and then just open this up. Okay. So the next part is adding these internal pieces that kind of cover up all of this. You could put more glue or adhesive here if you'd like. I found that it just kind of gets covered up and stays. So I'm going to add my Seal Plus to this layer as well. And I did add a good amount because, again, I want it to hold this ribbon. I want it to last a good long while. You can see I'm just kind of lining this up so that it is centered. Just like that. You can see it does not pull. Why did that just turn sideways? That is the weirdest thing. All right, let's see if we can. What is going on with our cameras today? All right, there you go. Okay. We are having all kinds of fun dilemmas today with with technology. All right, so now I'm going to add my adhesive to the other side, and again I'm going to do three little rows here because I want to make sure it sticks and holds everything together. Again, just kind of centering it top to bottom, inside to outside, pushing it down on that ribbon, and now we have this ready to go. So now I need to determine which direction I'm going to want this to be, and I think I like it just like this. So I'm going to add my adhesive back here. Again, you could use your glue here. You can use your Stampin' Seal Plus. I would not recommend regular Stampin' Seal because you want this to hold up for a good long while. And I'm going to center this, lining up this edge here with all these folded edges. And then centered it from top to bottom. And then I'm pushing that down. Okay. So right here, I'm going to start my embellishment up here when I go to create. It might say like, I don't know, summer fun or something. And I am going to be extra and cut out letters and the whole 9 yards. So look for those photos to come soon enough. All right. So now I'm going to add my fun layers here. Again, pick your favorite adhesive. I think the Seal Plus and glue are two of my most favorites. And I'm just centering this on the cover. And then I'm going to flip that over and I will do another one for the back side. If you have made one of these, I would love for you to share it with me, either on social media. You can tag me, Equally Creative by Nicole, or you can add it to a post under the video. If you were on stage and you saw this and you came home and recreated it, I would love, love, love to see it. So I'm simply just going to tie my ribbon. I do want to make sure and let everybody know that if you cut your ribbons at an angle, they are less likely to fray. So you'll see most of my ribbons are cut at an angle. And that really, really helps prevent fraying. So you can see sometimes they do get a little bit frayed, but not too bad. All right, so we have one project. We have these fun cards. And let's see. So we made 3 cards and a fun journal. And that is our Brights class. So I hope that you will come back and join me for the other 2 classes. I did put the dates in the description, but I'm going to tell them to you right here as well. So next Wednesday, I'm going to do a class with the subtles. And remember, this is the demonstration part. This is if you need to see it in real life put together. You can come here and take a look and copy what I have done, or put your kit together. So next week is subtles. And then the week of July 10th, that Wednesday, will be the leaf collection with the Regals. And then the following week will be inspirational sketches with the neutrals. So if you have those stamp sets already, we'll be featuring those here on those Wednesday nights. Again, 4 classes. If you get the mega bundle, the mega color classes, you will also receive this fun clear zipper tote that is pretty good size. Great for carrying your items to retreats or on a plane. It fits in a backpack, and it was easy to get on and off with my plane stuff. So I think they're allowing some reasonable items back on the airlines. So you could bring some crafts with you, some hand sewing, or some pre-made card kits. Hint, hint. We have lots of kits for that too. Did you have a paper pumpkin you haven't finished? You can do it on the plane. All right. You have a great rest of your week. I will see you next week with the subtles class, and I look forward to seeing if anyone else has created these fun journals, because I need to know how to put all the embellishments in there. I need ideas from you too. So I'll see y'all next week. Have a great night.